Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and it's time for dephemerember. Yay! Today is December 4th, 2023. This is the third year, I believe, that Louisa and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, Louisa Heinzel is who I mean, are doing dephemerember, which is a combination of December and ephemera for those that are just finding one of these videos for the first time. So, and using prompts. So I will be making ephemera to put in my journal. So this will kind of end up being kind of like an idea journal, I think, and also just a fun, arty, fun journal for me. It can be whatever you want it to be. We also have a Facebook group. It's not run by Louisa or Barbara. It's actually run by a wonderful lady named Charla. And I'll link her YouTube channel and the Facebook group below. And it's called Dephemerember Inspiration. It's a Facebook group, and you know, you can come for inspiration for all kinds of things. One gal who came in said she was getting back into collage, and I was like, well, you could totally do that with the prompts if you wanted to. You can make ephemera, you can do a collage journal, glue book, art journal. Use the prompts however you want to. There are no set rules. It is to get our creativity flowing, I believe, is the intention that Barbara and Louisa had. And I will probably switch saying Barbara first and Louisa first because I don't have a favorite. I love them equally. So I'm weird like that. I don't want to show favoritism. So I'm like, sometimes I'll say Barbara first. Sometimes I'll say Louisa first. I know, I'm weird. It's okay. And I'm okay with it. Okay, so this is my, I had a video on this and how I made this. And I will attach it into the book at some point. But for now, it's just kind of sitting here. And I went ahead, and I don't want to buckle this every time, so I just use binder clips to hold my little belts on either side. Because I haven't glued the back down. I won't do that till it's done. And then I'll know how thick it is and how much room I'll need. And that way, my spine can expand as I do that. There's also a video on how I made the journal. I'm sorry. It's a little convoluted because I had never tried this kind of a binding before. So, you know, I did my best. And then, so my prompt list is actually like a whole notebook so that I could write down my ideas. And I'm also going to try to do, as I say, which is to, sometimes the ideas come when you start creating. So check out your prompts, think of ideas, but then just don't be afraid. Just start creating. You never know what you might come up with. And I kind of forgot I had a box of scraps. And also, some of us were able to exchange scraps with another arty friend. And these are my scraps from Patty. And she also has a YouTube channel. I will link her in the, I need to make a list of all these people that I say that I'm going to link in the description box, or I'll forget. All right, I did that. I wasn't going to make you watch me do the list. That's why I like an Android phone, because I can press pause. But then sometimes that kind of messes me up, and I end up going, sometimes I end up pressing the wrong button. So our first prompt is a butterfly and 3 torn things. So I'll pick my butterfly after I figure out for my pocket. So I'm going to make a pocket. And my pocket is going to be shaped like a chrysalis. Ooh, I think this is going to be perfect for a piece of the chrysalis, as well as, let's see, what else do we have in here? Yeah, that's fun. We get some fabric in here, some gel plate print, some napkin. That might be fun as part of it. Let's see, I need 3. Oh, I love this too. But I also have this from Love Junk Journals, Grungy Wallpaper Swatches, which I was thinking I might like to use some of these as well. But I only need 3 pieces. So, for any of these, I think this one actually would be nice with this, as would that one, because I'll probably be doing it on this page, which is, you know, map page. Oh, and Barbara, I wanted to show you. Look, look, look. There's Vienna. I did get Vienna in here. She told me that I did get where Louisa lives in my where did it go? On my page, on my, you know, on here, one of these places where I have the map from Austria. But she didn't see that I did get Vienna in there too. So, all right, this is like pure chrysalis right here. Like, I could just use this as a chrysalis, and that would be pretty cool. But, and I'm going to try to figure out how to tear it in a way. Well, I don't have to tear the whole thing. I could. All right, so because this is already torn, this is kind of going. I'm trying to remember in my head the shape of a chrysalis. I know I'm like heading into this beautiful piece here, but I want this to be the top piece. I think there's coffee involved in this somehow. How wide can this be? It can actually be pretty wide. All right, so that's going to be the top piece of my chrysalis, and then I think that this is going to be the bottom piece, and I'm going to leave these torn bits on the edges, and then a middle piece. Which do I like the best? I like either the blue. I think maybe the blue. Alright, so I need it to be about the same. Alright, so that will work. And what I might even do is just keep this piece, and I'm tearing it out, see, so now it's torn. And then I can attach this to the top and that to the bottom so that it's a little easier to get in and out. Alright, you know how a chrysalis kind of looks more like there might be, no, I think I want to, what do I want to do? I'm going to need to back it when I'm done with it too, just because this is, it's not fragile, but oh, it does have a little bit of coffee on there though. I want to glue that down just to keep the coffee from going everywhere. Alright, so okay, we're just gonna hope for the best here. Because I kind of want, I mean, I can always print it again or use a different piece. Alright. I want this piece shown, but I don't need that piece. And yes, I'm not afraid to just rip and tear and try things without actually measuring and whatnot first. Alright, so that's, it looks kind of like a giant chrysalis, right? That's kind of cool. And I don't mind that it's torn on the sides because he's breaking out of the chrysalis, so it's okay. Alright, let me go ahead and glue these pieces together. She says, and then she's like, wait, I might want to ink that. Feels really dark in here, even though it's really bright in here. That's what happens when the sun's out. Alright, this is, whoops, I have those over in the corner over there so I can find them every day. And I can put those back in my little cubby there, and just want to ink this piece here. So yeah, when I was looking up things, like, you know, I'll look up definitions or symbolism, like for butter, how did I have this? This way, I think. So like butterfly, the symbolism was transformation, oh, I can't remember words. Those are hard. Transformation, freedom, and rebirth. And so I was like, well, I could somehow, you know, make that part of what I do. Or I could just go totally literal and have a butterfly coming out of a chrysalis. And a chrysalis pocket might be kind of a cool idea. So it's a big pocket, don't get me wrong. And my butterfly might be too wide, so I might need to leave the pocket open on one end. Where are my, oh, they're down here, I think. Butterfly die cuts, where are they? Why would they be where I think they'd be? Found them. I think I'm going to use one of my die cuts that I have. I have several here. Move these papers out of the way. And I don't know what I want to do to my background yet. That's why I haven't put anything down. Oh, I like him. Where's my... Oh, I like him too. He kind of goes with the... So like he might be too big to actually fit in the pocket. And I could even do a tag. But I think I just want to do the butterfly. And I might even kind of attach a ribbon inside the pocket and a ribbon to him, so he doesn't get lost, so he just comes out. But I also want it to be free. I don't want to tie him down, so probably not. So, yeah. So I might glue this. Oh, how might I want to do this? I mean, obviously my chrysalis is huge. I could make it a little smaller, but come on, that's prominent and fun. I do like that he kind of matches the chrysalis a little bit. He's a little on the plain side. So I take my gel plate prints sometimes, especially if I did them on cardstock, and I turn them into butterflies, whether they're the Impresslets or the Tim Holtz, the torn type ones. That one's really, these are fun. These are some mixed media stuff I did. If you want to see how I did that kind of painting, you'd have to go back to the Arty Blooms, which is the hashtag Makers Creative Collab. Now, a lot of people double these butterflies up, which I could totally do. Let's see. Oh, this is one of my favorites. That's also was done in the Arty Blooms. Whoops. He might be it, just because he's one of my favorites and I want to keep him. He's mine. You can't have him. I could put him on a tag and then I'd be able to write on the back of the tag. Do I want to do that? I might, because this is an ephemera thing, right? Or he could have already come out of the chrysalis and I could do another tag in there to talk about dephemerember. I kind of like them coming out though. Alright, so I need to make a weird shaped tag. And so let me just grab some book page, which I can, plus I want to back this as well. So I'm going to trace a couple pieces of book page to do that. You know, just keep book page under my table. I do. These are my glue pages generally. So let's move my butterfly, and I'm just going to trace this to the best of my ability with a pencil that has lead or graphite that is available to me. So one of them will be about the same size to back it, and the other one I'll make sure I do smaller. But I'll cut them both at the same time, I think. And then I'll just kind of, alright, I'm going inside this line for the backing because I don't want the paper to show. And some of that will just be it's okay if some of that torn stuff hangs off. The pocket itself will be this kind of a shape. Alright, so then for my tag, I'm gonna, alright, so that will be my backing. These two pieces will be part of my tag. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of glue in the middle. Then I need to give myself a good 1/4 inch all around so it will actually fit in the tag, in the pocket after it's sewn. So it's going to be a funny shaped tag. That's alright. I don't need as much off the top probably, but on the sides definitely. It's the only way it's going to fit. Your tags do not have to be rectangles. They don't even have to be, you know, they can be whatever shape you want them to be. That's how tags work. Alright, let's go ahead and glue this on here. So you can see there's some bits sticking off, but that's okay. As long as I don't see the paper on this side, which I do right here, not a big deal. I can just ink it or just cut it. There we go. Alright, so there's my chrysalis and here's my tag. I want to decorate my tag. I want him to, you know, pop, and then I can write some things on the back or whatever. So I'm going to want to back it. But look at this. We've got some of this book page that is blank. That will be perfect to back it with. And then, what do I want to do the front of it with? I might find some gel plate print or something, or just some scrapbook paper. You can go, alright, see, I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed by the dephemerember. When you see people doing all these crazy things and you're like, oh, that is way beyond my ability. No, don't do that. Do what's within your ability. But get inspired and, you know, think outside the box. Try to do more than you think you can do. Definitely. But do what makes you happy. I don't want you guys to stress about it. Barbara doesn't want you to stress about it. Louisa doesn't want you to stress about it. That will make us sad if you stress about it. None of us want you to stress about it. There are no dephemerember police out there saying if you're doing it right or wrong. There's just not. And there's not going to be. There's going to be people saying, oh, that looks great. There's going to be encouragement and inspiration. That is what dephemerember is about. Encouragement and inspiration. I'm absolutely, I just did that on the front instead of the back. And then there's, you know, people like me that kind of mess things up sometimes and just laugh about it, because what else are you going to do? Alright, let's do it this way this time. And of course, you know, I could use, I don't need to use the art glitter. Oh, this is art glitter glue, by the way. And all I've done is taken some paper, which is actually from one of my digital kits in my shop, which is always listed in the description box below. And then I Mod Podged it, or I did gel matte medium or something, just because the cover was getting, the outside was getting gross. Of course, over time, even the paper I put on, even with the sealing of it, with the Mod Podge or whatever, is still having its own issues. So I have a feeling that this page is going to keep giving just because of the coffee grounds that are on the back of that paper I used. That's okay. I'm getting little brown spots everywhere because I've got coffee grounds all over. And it's okay. It just makes it a little more grungy, and I'm all about the grunge. Alright, so this is the front. Let me just put a little F on there. I will probably put something else on it. So that's the back. Alright, and before I do too much work on my tag, let's go ahead and glue this down. Oh man, I didn't want to glue it down because I might want to do stuff to, you know what, we'll just keep the back. For our Canadian friends, we'll just keep it as map. Oh my word. It's alright. That's the front, so it goes in like that. So it should fit. That needs to dry. Alright, and that's my front. I need to figure out what I want to do. I love this bit that, ooh, there's some paper, that Patty wrapped everything in. This little paper bag with the iridescent, how would he look against it? He kind of blends in with it a little too much. So that won't work for this particular thing. But I was thinking about, he would pop against that though, wouldn't he? He would definitely, that's fun. And I can add Alright, I'm going to glue that on there. Whoops, I don't want to forget to use my scraps. I mean, people sent, you know, Patty sent me my scraps and I love them and I want to use them. Now, there's another prompt that's near the end of the month that's forgotten snack, and I'm like, how do people forget snacks? I've never forgotten about snacks in my life. I need to forget about snacks. But, yeah, I haven't. I can remember all the snacks that are in the house. And how much I want them. That's alright. It's alright. Let's see, is there anything? Oh, I am looking forward to seeing what everybody makes. So make sure that you use the hashtag dephemerember, and I will look for it. And then I think Barbara and Louisa are requesting that you also, on Instagram especially, do the @ with their pages so that they can find it. They can find what you made. I don't want to throw away that scraps. Because of the way Instagram is doing hashtags down so sadly, and oh, we're so sad about not being able to just see hashtags. Alright, so this is December 4th and it is the first prompt. So so which number do I put? Or do I put a number? I don't have to put any numbers. Or I could put all the numbers. I mean, I could just, I want to use a stamp, but I don't know which stamp. And I want to use a little bit of stenciling. Okay, I think I'm going to use that stamp. And, oops, got a little stuck. And I want to use a stencil. Where's my, alright, these are my smaller, oh, I kind of like the arrows. Because they want to come up, right? We want the butterfly to go up and fly and be free. The ones in this book are my lovely PM Artist Studio stencils that I have. I realize I have a lot of them. And then back here are just some from Amazon and whatnot. Ooh, I kind of want to do, I like to mix grungy with like fancy, like damask or damask. Ooh, here's one I cut myself. I kind of like that. Since we've got chrysalis, which is kind of natural, organic, let's go ahead and grab out this homemade one. And I'm going to leave that sticking out. And maybe go that direction instead. So I think I want to green. We don't really have any green on. Oh, look at that. That wants to just kind of stick on there. Maybe we'll just stick it right there. Green, or I might want, oh, you know, one of my favorites, Forest Moss. I think that's one of Louisa's favorites as well. So this, I just use Mylar. I think if I were to recut it, I would use the Yupo, because I do have Yupo now. It's just a little easier to use. Oh, I missed that top bit. And I can see where the stencil is and where it ends. Oh my goodness. Alright, this page will show. So let's go ahead and do some over here as well. Oh, and it just broke, so it's probably time to make a new one. I've learned a lot about making stencils since I made this one. And, you know, connection points and whatnot. Because I do design stencils for PM Artist Studio, which you may have seen Barbara do some stencils, use stencils from PM Artist Studio from time to time. I am a designer for them. Alright, let's have some of this, because chances are a chrysalis is hanging in a tree or on a bush, right? So this will make a little bit of sense. Maybe. And also, this kind of looks like it. Well, it doesn't look like, but it reminds me of like aspen, and the one that's related to aspen with the white bark. You know what I'm talking about. I should know what I'm talking about. Aunt Margie, beech tree, right? Yeah, beech. I think it's a beech tree or birch tree. Birch tree. Oh my goodness. I got issues. Words are hard. Remembering things is hard. Just saying. Alright, there we go. That's fun. I need to recut this stencil better, apparently. I don't know. Where would I connect it, though? Because I like that it's open. That's what I like about it. Also, a thing that I kind of do is doodle. So, I'm going to use gold. We know that Barbara likes gold. Gold. Oh, do I want to add any splatters? So I'm just going to kind of roughly outline these. Just roughly. Add a little bit of something. You don't have to do all this. This is just me. This is just how I roll. Yeah, someone was like, oh, I like that you did yours different. I'm like, that's kind of what I do. I try to do a twist on things that I've seen so that you can get other ideas and hopefully be inspired and come up with your own ideas on things is ideally what would happen. I mean, it's okay if you don't get new ideas from watching other people. Not everybody does, and that's all right. You can just, some people just, they like to just be like, okay, I'm going to do what that person did, and they're happy with that, and that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. That's just not how my brain works, because even if I start trying to copy and do what somebody else did, at some point my brain goes off, and it's just like, oh, you know what? I think that if I do this, that would be cool. Because I have totally started following someone's tutorial, and it wasn't long before I was doing my own thing. And I was like, tutorial? What tutorial? I stopped listening to them and started doing my own thing. That's just what I do. Alright, and then I liked this stamp here. Whoa! And I wanted to drop that stamp, really. No, I didn't, but we've got the blue. So let's go for the blue, which I think is pretty close to this speckled egg, which hopefully I re-inked it the other day, so hopefully it actually has some good inkability here. Also, my things don't stick, so I just do a little bit of... Now, Carrie the Crafter, he says to clean your thing off afterwards. And when you do this, what I just did. But I don't do that. Alright, and there might have been some green on something. I don't know. Also, I think I might need it brighter. Let's go ahead and grab cornflower. I think will be just the color I want. Hold on. Let's get some of that green off of there. And of course, if I add any liquid, all the other stuff is going to get, you know, this is a distress ink. So if it gets wet, stuff will happen to it. So, alright, that noise is hopefully my prescription being ready. Fingers crossed. Alright, that's good. Now let's do some on the page as well. Whoops. Oh, I need to put the cover on my glue too, but that's okay. I like to overlap. I like the pocket to kind of be seamlessly one with the page. So I will often do stuff like this. Oh, good. I was worried that with, you know, I've got all this stuff under here. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with that. But I was able to do it, fortunately. Also, it's kind of just, you know what? I think that might be perfect on there. 3. 3 is good. As my lovely, the Queen Mother Patricia would say. I was going to do some arrows, right? just some arrows just for symbolism. That's the word I want. The arrows are going to be for symbolism, freedom, you know, coming out of your shell. Well, this seems dangerous. Oh, there it is. The cover was off, which means the bottom was naked somewhere. I've got the blue, that there's like this light purple in here, and the yellow, and we have this orangey. Oh, let's do, I've got this orange blossom. That might work nicely. Orange. So I tried to label these. I've got just medical tape on here that labels them, and I can see them fairly well. So that's what. But I'm not as good as Barbara. I do not have I do not have a separate set of oxide brushes, but I have way more inks than I do oxide, so I don't use brushes for oxides very much. A little bit down here. I told you that this stencil was Cam Artist Studio, right? There we go. And maybe a little one on here. And maybe another little one on here. Like that. Alright. And it's okay that I only did 2 because there was 3 of these. So there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10-ish. But anyway, I like even numbers, so I'm not bothered. Alright, does it fit? Does it fit? Oh, does it fit? It fit before. What happened? Am I going to have to trim a little bit off? And if so, which part? That's the question. I have to trim a little bit off of, glad I didn't ink it yet. If I'm going to have to trim it. Alright, just shivved it, just get a little bit off of there. Alright, this part might be a part that's causing issues. You know, I don't mind if it sticks out a little bit. I'm okay with that. Alright, let me go ahead and ink it. Now, of course, inking is totally optional. Do it, don't do it, do what you like. Do what makes you happy. I think it adds a little bit. And I am a mixed media artist, so I like to use the paints and the inks and all the things. That is not a requirement for this endeavor. It's really not. It's to have fun and try things. Now, where's my butterfly? Here he is. I love him. Alright, let's hope. He might have to stick out of the pocket a little bit. You know, be like, what happens if I stick him in like this? Actually, you know what I think I might do? That way he can just go in however. I might do the ribbon thing that I said I wasn't going to do because I didn't want to tie him down, but it'll be freedom with boundaries. That's what it'll end up being. Alright, what do I have? I've got this bit right here, which might work. Just a little piece of fabric. Whoops. Nice little grungy fabric, which I will somehow, I might attach it like that and then attach him to it, and that way he can just kind of get pushed in with it and come out with it. Alright, let's try it. I mean, I probably should use Fabri-Tac. But, I mean, that should work. Art glitter glue should work on most applications. as far as, you know, substrates and whatnot. Did I do that wrong? Is there a wrong? It won't matter. It twists. Sorry, I'm talking with the thing in my mouth. Alright, that needs to dry a minute. I'm going to go ahead and glue the little circle that I did not use on the prompts list. I'm going to go ahead and glue that there so that I don't just have the whatchamacallit just ending. And because it's pretty. I think Barbara, okay, there have been some questions. Some people have been a little confused. Questions like, do I have to buy a digital kit to do the dephemerember? No, you do not have to buy the digital kits. There are digital kits available in Barbara's shop. She has an online shop, and Louisa's shop, she's on Etsy, that you can purchase if you want to. And that was just because, you know, people love Effie. They think he's effing adorable. And so, you know, a lot of people do want to purchase it and have fun with it. It is not required. There are freebies, which are linked below Barbara and Louisa's videos. Barbara's are on Ko-fi, and Louisa has a website. Those are also optional. You do not have to use any of the digitals. If you don't have a printer, that doesn't mean you can't play. You can totally play. Let me think about if there were any other questions. I'll try to remember. I'll try to write down any more questions. And also, you can go back and watch the replay of the lives on Instagram that Barbara and Louisa did. And those were, you know, put there to answer questions. So that should answer a lot of your questions right there, hopefully, too. I don't know if they'll do a third one. And of course, you know, today's December 4th, so you will have already, you know, they will have already happened. All right, that almost looks like a tab on the top, so that's kind of cool. And, you know, so there's my page for the first prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and write on the back here. I did not expect to go there. So I wrote the prompt, and then I started writing that butterflies are a symbol of transformation, freedom, and rebirth. And then that put my mind into like the torn, and I ended which can be done after an experience or situation that tore us apart. So who knew how appropriate the torn and the butterfly would be and how well they would go together, because a lot of times transformation happens after situations or experiences in your life that have just torn you apart or torn your heart in two. So yeah, wow, okay. I hope that leaves you on a positive note, and I hope you have a delightful day, and know that I love you. Bye.